There we go. We're launched, baby. We're launched. Staying off a personal account for the week. My MCL trade hit the month goal, so I'll be focused on TPT eval account. Nice, Kennedy. Beautiful. Yeah, so that's a great idea, man. I'm going to start being more and more critical and holding people accountable. If you want to, if you want to be a part of the server and of course learn from me, which obviously you do, um, I'm gonna hold y'all accountable. And if y'all are trading 15 times a day, I'm going to put a 90% probability that you're losing money, and I don't want to hear it. So let's follow the guidelines of actual high probability trading, and let's not trade 15 times a day. How about that? That'd be nice. However, TPT is fantastic. I took my second payout on Friday. I posted the submittal confirmation of the payout. I intend to take another one Wednesday or Thursday. I'm going to look at, obviously with daily payouts, you can take a payout every day. But I'll be looking to take a payout Wednesday or Thursday on the new account. So it'll be beautiful. That'll be 3 payouts so far. Going well. Going well. Someone noted that Top Step is no longer an option for, or Tradeawait's no longer an option for Top Step. They removed that, and that's kind of in line with them guiding everyone to Project X. They're going to become kind of like their all-encompassing, self-involved trading. What's it called? Prop firm. And if I had to guess, most likely the only thing they'll offer eventually is going to be this Project X/Top Step X platform. But we'll see. Yeah, definitely. Trading right now, we have 61.5. I'm gonna stick to my exact same thing I've been doing the past 3 weeks, which is low frequency trading for the week and just waiting for the whole morning shakeout to be done. My win rate, because I log my trades, because I analyze my trades and do all the back testing, I know that when the market becomes tight like this, my probability of wins shifts to the afternoon. That's the way it is. I like to let the market kind of set up, tip its hand, and then I'll go trading into the afternoon. When things are volatile and shaking and baking, there's volume, and you can do an analysis on big moves with volume. It shifts to the morning where it's more lines of 9:45 to 10:15. So for me, staying off the first 15-30 minutes, it's been good for me. Not to mention I'm only trading between 5, 6, 7 times, 10 times a week in this environment. But right now, look for the little pivot here at 60, let's call it 6,000 on ES. And of course, the triple top is 60.40, which is also the little afternoon top from Friday. Surprise, surprise, we bounced off 67, 59, 60-ish, which was also last week's bounce zone. So all of this should be pretty straightforward with this. If you plot the levels that we talk about every single day, you should be able to kind of snipe a couple of these entries as we start to move. What's up, Matt? Been out of town for the past few weeks. Looking forward to getting some seat time in front of the charts. Beautiful. Nice, Matt. Good to have you back, buddy. Today's day 1 fully operational in the new studio. So you'll start to see some content be recorded this week and posted, getting that baby rolling. Huge green back up, of course, off 60.10 to 60.24. Beautiful. Boom, boom. There we go. There's that. I'm green 10 of the last 12 days and now 7 in a row. Looking to make it 8. Beautiful. Mic sounds great. New mic or better acoustics? Probably better acoustics. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Apex? I wouldn't touch Apex if you gave me free accounts. Complete garbage. Complete garbage. It's nice to have 20 accounts, and it's nice when they actually approve a payoff for 20 accounts. But if I have to show, if I have to dodge and hopscotch around 15 different rules and, post video recording of my trades, and it's a bunch of nonsense. So there's a higher probability you're going to be denied than actually getting paid, and I'm not going to waste my time and money. Time is money, man. And if you're going to waste that much time doing all that, meh. All right, big green candle, of course, to absorb the first green. So far, the same exact price action we've been seeing every single day for weeks and weeks and weeks. Thanks, Laner. Appreciate it. Looking forward to the Wheel and Cage Max live stream. Yeah. I have no intention of ever interacting with that guy, but we'll be doing some more live streams. We'll be starting, of course, the camera and all that stuff. All right, 60.26. Let's go to the longer time frame, like the 15-minute. Bottom wick on the 15, looking for 60.40. If you're looking at NASDAQ, they're doing the same thing. They defended their little pivot here at 21.772 and looking for possibly up to 950. Looking at Bookmap. I had to restart it. Internet are shouting World War III tomorrow. We didn't even get a dip. Yeah, because the market, I mean, what does that tell you, Chumley? What does that tell you? The market doesn't lie if you know what to look for. Ooh, look at that. That's crazy. The market does not lie. I don't know why my Bookmap is looking like this all of a sudden, but we'll look at it. The market doesn't lie. So if the market is not pricing in any fear, if the market is not pricing in World War III, then let me tell you something. We're not going to World War III. The people on Wall Street who are lining the pockets of our politicians, which is obviously true. All the corruption, if the corruption is not telling us that we're not going to have World War III, if they're not spiking aggressive put protection, then we're not going to World War III. Nothing is going to happen because the market's not pricing that in. It's just the way it is. Follow the corruption, follow the money, and you'll get the proper analysis. So until I see a spike in the VIX to 30, until I see massive put hedging, until I see some selling climaxes here, I'm not going to play any kind of major World War III thesis. I'm not going to play any kind of major fear play until I see it. Until then, the same exact thing remains, which is churn and burn, baby. Churn and burn. I need to put this up here. That's why you can't see it. There we go. It was on the wrong screen, homie. Wrong screen. What if World War III is bullish now? Well, war always ends up being bullish. It always does because it turns on the printer. It turns on the industry, which cranks out bombs and metal and all this other stuff. And it cranks up the economy. It cranks up the printer. It cranks up, J. Powell starts yapping a lot more. Oil's actually down since Friday. It's wild. Yeah. Because we posted the Big Mac Daddy oil levels. Look at oil. Why did we reject? I've got all my drawings on it. Because this huge supply up here. It's a multi-year high. I don't care what happens with oil. You're not going to breach through this big dog level on oil. So you've got to watch it. All this crap up here. It came up into this area. It didn't quite touch it yet, but the reason why we're having massive amount of activity, I mean, look at these top wicks. Look at the volume. Look at the top wicks. The market's telling you what's going on here. Massive top wick, massive top wick, massive top wick, massive top wick, all with increasingly high volume. So the market's telling you that we have a massive supply into the 80 zone. Right here. Follow the volume, follow the price action, and be patient. So far, nice little bottom wick here on ES. We're 11 minutes in. No trades for me. Love holding people accountable. Switching to micros changed the game. Fundeds are locked up after last night. Beautiful. Once I hit target profit and stopped out of the trade, I'm shutting it down on the stream with no vibes till trading. Beautiful. I like it, Laner. Keep it up, baby. Got to hold each other accountable. That's why we're here, man. That's why we're here. I locked in my TPT games last night on the recovery, so I won't be trading my TPT accounts. What's up, Invest in Muscle? How you doing? All right. It's funny because with this new little tag thing that gets attached to people's Discord's names of whatever's other trading servers y'all are in, I'm curious, so I click on them to see what they're all about now that they're starting to pop up. And some of the prices y'all are paying for Discords are insane. And it makes me think I am charging way too little for my Discord. Some of y'all are paying like $150 a month for basic entry stuff, or $300 a month, or $50 a week. It's like, holy crap, man. I am grossly undercharging. But I'll never raise my prices. I'm only paying for yours. Love it. Love it. please don't. No, I'll never raise my prices. I raised it. I found a good balance. I raised it until I found a good balance, and this is it. So it'll stay. It'll stay here. Still hovering 60-30. Yeah, gold completely recovered. I was waiting for gold to come down to another retest, but they didn't get all the way down there, which would have been beautiful. So we almost got there at midnight or so, but this time we didn't quite get down there again. And of course they launched it back up, which is typical for gold. And there's no sign of gold actually falling. If you look at gold daily, they are just churning and burning to the upside. Obviously we have this little bit of trend line. We have all this channel coming up here if you play the top side. But they are defending everything and bottom wicking. So far, gold has been the haven play, the safe haven. And once we attack 34.73 and launch, if they absorb this 34.73 after 1, 2, 3 times, not to mention on a long-term scale, this is an ascending triangle, which is a bullish pattern. Every time attack, 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 and then we absorb and go higher. So in my opinion, once gold takes out this 34.75 area, it's going higher. It's going higher. Because this S&P market is torturously boring. What's up, Hal? So I'll be making more videos in VPA soon. I will be, yes. So now that I still have obviously some odds and ends to finish up, but we are officially living in the house now. And I have the new studio up, although there's guns everywhere. I can't show anything because I haven't finished building my closet yet, so all my guns are just piled up in my office. So I can't. It looks like a mess. But once this is done, yeah, well, of course I'll be showing pictures of that and videos, and we'll do video streams then. But yes, this week we'll be starting content production. I want to see what guns you have. Yeah. Silver's been holding 36 pretty well. Beautiful. If I were to try out a take profit account, the losses work just like regular account, or am I limited to pay the only monthly fee? Nope. Same exact thing. Same exact thing. Just trying to understand a little how P&L start works in this situation. Yeah, so that's correct. It removes the daily loss limit and it removes the activation fee. So in my opinion, what makes Take Profit Trader so great is the fact that with using the code OMTPT, you get 30% off for life and you get zero activation fee. So it's the lowest cost of entry of any prop firm that I've found. So you can literally pay whatever it is, $100 or whatever it is, get funded and get free funded account. So that's it. Like it's the cheapest cost of entry to get money. And then if you happen to take some payouts quickly, boom, just right there and there, paying whatever the entry fee is, whatever account you choose to sign up for, you get your payout for little to nothing. Not to mention you get daily payouts. So, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. And if you have they have, they're one of the only prop firm I've found that you can reset your funded account. So, it's expensive. It's very expensive, a couple $100. If I forget how much it was, but if you are taking a lot of payouts, then it doesn't matter. Just pay the couple $100 and get your funded account, get rolling again, and take out more money. And all you need is one good day, and you can take a massive payout. So it's nice. You don't have to wait 5 days. I'm a big fan of it, man. There's a couple of downsides to it, definitely, but I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of it. So. Not a fan of TPT trailing. Yeah, the trailing drawdown is one of the cons. But in my opinion, if you know how to control your risk, the upside is outweighs the downside. What would you say the downsides are? What Richie just said is that the trailing drawdown is tighter than Top Step. But of course, you just got to build your buffer and trade and trade the buffer zone and manage the trailing drawdown. But yeah. It's good stuff, though, man. Payouts are quickly from submittal to payout in the account. It's 24 hours, if not less. It's actually faster than 24 hours, but it's very fast. What does a reset account mean? You have to pay another fee, and you provide another account. So most common thing with eval is that you have an eval account that you have to trade and pass the rules before you're funded. If you blow up the account or fail the account, you've got to pay money and reset the account and provide it with a brand new account. Funded the same way. And TPT is the only one that I've found that actually resets your funded, which I didn't even know they did until I was already signed on with them, which is pretty cool. Do you have to pass an eval first? You do. Yep. The best TPT, definitely. So I did have an original code with them, but we had to switch it. It's now code OMTPT. If you want to get 30% off with zero activation fee. All right, 60.36 here. We are climbing a little bit higher. We just now hit my 9:45 trading time, so I'll be looking to position myself accordingly as long as I see something. We have liquidity all the way up to 60.50 to the downside. You remember what's happening right now when the market opens. Everyone was foaming at the mouth to get short this market this weekend after seeing all the news. They saw the first initial impact of the bombs, and they're like, holy crap, I'm shorting this baby into the ground. I'm short, I'm swinging puts, baby, ha ha ha. And now look what happens. The market's up 18, 19 points and still climbing. As people try to chase this market short, the more they short, the more this is going to grind up. Not to mention, what's the environment we've been in now for 6 weeks? Bottom wick, grind higher. Bottom wick, grind higher. Over and over and over again. So right now we have 456 million in calls. We have 37 million in puts sold. So this is a very strong positive delta environment, which is a long market. What did I just open this up for? Okay, that's what I meant. I'm done with my TPT trading last night, so I'm going to switch over to Top Step and, of course, trading my own IBKR for any other additional trades. So I shouldn't have a problem as long as I don't look at it as a 50K paid per trading casino fund. Yeah, I mean, it's the same with everything, man. As long as you treat it as if just trade your system, that's it. And yeah, it'll be fine. And the fact that you could take daily payout. Here's the thing with prop firms, man, is that you can go on heaters, you can go on terrible streaks where you can't even put on a green trade. The thing I like about the daily chart is that, or the daily payouts, is that if you can go on like a 5 or 6 day heater where you're just killing it, you could take a lot of money out before you start going to the period where you're not doing well, which is where you really start to suck at prop firms because they have all the rules. And the rules make it great or fine when you're trading well, but when you're not trading well, it puts a lot of handcuffs on you. So the daily playouts, you can sit there and just pay yourself the money out of it. And that way, if you do have a bad streak, no big deal. You've already taken the money out, where you don't have to wait for 5 days or 10 days or whatever it is to actually draw your money out. It's beautiful. Have a big, huge winning day, pull it out. And if you've got 5 accounts, I mean, you could have a 20K day, easy. And then who cares if you blow them up after that? You pull 20,000 out. I mean, 20,000 is, what's the median income for the month for a month nowadays? Like $3,600, $4,000 or something like that. I mean, that's 5 months income right there. Let's do it. How do the graphics compare with Top Step? What do you mean? Do I need to try to trade often, or can I trade a few days and take? You can take some time off. Yeah, it's a 30-day cycle on the evals, so same thing. So, all right, we are climbing up here, 60.36 to 60.40, which is a triple top. It does appear they're going to absorb the triple top. Obviously, we've already filled the gap in the afternoon, so the gap is no longer relevant. Or I'm sorry, in the morning, not the afternoon. But if you look on Bookmap, we have 60.40 liquid up to 60.50, and we're doing the same exact thing every day, is just grinding, grinding, grinding. There's the 1 minute. There's no high volume influx just yet. On the 5 minute, 15 into the 60.38. I'm very hesitant to short this top from 60.38, 60.40 because we've already tapped it 3 times. This one looks like it's going to absorb and start eating into Friday morning's levels. And my discipline says that I need to be very, very calculated to short this relentless grind up market. How many Mondays in a row have we had this grind up stuff? Very slick trading. I mean, Top Step is a custom thing. That is specific to Top Step, the Top Step X. So I admit I like Top Step X a lot. I think they did a great job on it. But that is them. But so with TPT or anyone else for that matter, you can pick which browser you like to use. NinjaTrader, Tradeovate, whatever. I went with Tradeovate, which I hate, but whatever. I'm familiar with it as opposed to other stuff. But yeah, Here comes 60-38, 60-40. Have I ever heard of funded futures? Similar platform to TopSecX and also no activation fee. I've never have, no. All right, so there you go. We're absorbing 60-40 again, which is why I don't want to short this. Maybe even a liquidity sweep above that. After this, 60-50. Keep on grinding higher. Don't short anything. What is your favorite TPT size? 75K. 75K is what I'm on. Close out the calls 100%. Beautiful liquidity Lubu. Nice. Shut it down, baby. Shut it down. Shut it down. But if you want to have multiple take profits on a trade, it's way too complicated. I don't think so. I think it works out well. I've never had a problem doing that. Trade station is like a Cutlass Supreme. Nice. Yeah, I've heard of the name funded futures like being tossed around, but I've never like attempted them. The only ones I've attempted is Apex, unfortunately, and then Top Step, and then of course now TPT. Can you explain what a liquidity sweep is in the simplest way possible? Can you explain what a liquidity sweep is in the simplest way possible? Yes. A fisherman throws out the juiciest, most amazing looking lure possibly made. Throws it out there. The fish thinks, oh, that's really, really delicious. I haven't been hungry before, but now I'm hungry. I'm ready to eat. Fish hits the lure. Fisherman says, ha, gotcha. Sets the hook by yanking on the pole as hard as possible. And now the fish is caught. Fish is dead. Fish is going to get eaten. I guess that's the simplest metaphor. But what is a liquidity sweep? A liquidity sweep is a method to induce the activation of liquidity through the process of order book manipulation. And now manipulation, you may be like, oh, well, this is another one of those retail traders that thinks that big money is manipulating retail. They don't care about me or you or anyone. Specifically, they don't care about us, but they do care about the order book. So let's go to the daily chart for a good explanation. We have now been in this range now for weeks and weeks and weeks. We briefly stepped under this 59.78, but right back to it. So 6 weeks now, effectively, we've been in a tight range. If they want to drop this market, let's say theoretically that 4 weeks from now we'll be at 5,600. Let's just say, I'm not saying they are, but let's say 5,600. And they want to put on a huge sell. What they're going to do is to get this market looking super bullish. They're going to climb this market up to 61.26, and then we're going to have a massive green morning. We're going to have like a 100-point, 50-point green morning, something like that. And then they're going to demolish that candle. In the afternoon, they're going to sell every bit of it off. Huge top wick. And the purpose of this is to get out all of the longs and to get people to start get people out of the shorts and get people to start piling into longs. FOMO. They're going to induce fear through the process of getting weak-handed buyers. Holy crap, it's going up, baby. Buy, 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 buy. Cram it down your throat. Now everyone's in a weak position, which creates an inefficient market. And now is their time to drop it. And this liquidity sweep is where they bait and switch everyone. That's what I want to see. Usually, it's accompanied by high volume down here. Actually, you can't see that. Hold on. It's accompanied by high volume down in this area with a huge sweeping top wick, which some people would clarify as would explain as a hanging man. It's a method of deducing to induce liquidity. Man, y'all are freaking quiet today. We got to change things up. Blue Sky offers a Project X platform. Do they really? Interesting. Yeah, I haven't. I know some of y'all traded Blue Sky. I have not. I almost tried them out, but Project X, the future of futures trading. Brokerage partners. Top Step case study. Yeah, I don't like the concept of sharing information across props though. What's up, Sam? How you doing? Futures Elite is great too. 50 to 60 bucks, no activation fees, great for brokies. Interesting. Want something you're watching for long-term stocks? What's something you're watching for long-term stocks? TLT right now is my main target. Not Top Step, Tesla. I've been looking at aggressively because they put on a lot of good pivots. Yeah, so right now the S&P is long up to 60.50. Here, I'll show you. Which is why I did not want to short the prior pivot at 60.38 and all the liquidity is 60.50, not to mention Friday's highs is 60.70, which is much higher than that. Change stream. Let's go bookmap. There you go. Still going. What's up, Ozzy? Good morning. Good morning, good morning. So 60.43 right there, still going on the 5-minute. We already broke it above the 60.37 pivot. Now look at it green. So this is typically where a sweep will occur on that type of candle. This is typically where a sweep will occur on that candle. Let me open up the S&P here. See how that thing just went crazy real quick? Right at the 10 o'clock candle. After a large thrust higher, immediate top wick. Right into the 60.50 liquidity. Oh, nice. It's American Uno. 1. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Was a member about 8 months ago. I had to take some time to deal with some stuff. Glad to be back in the Discord soon. Nice, David. Good to have you back, buddy. Right in the nick of time, too, because we have July and August coming, man. It's going to be a crazy fall. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. You know what else? You know what sucks, though? Days are now getting shorter. Longest day of the year was 2 days ago. Hims lost his partnership with Novo Nordisk. Nice. Still going green, baby. I will take shorter days. I'm not ready for the heat of summer. Tell me about it, man. There's a massive heat wave coming through now. In my opinion, from a weather perspective, the worst months of the year are July and August. I hate it. I'll take 10 degrees or over 100. Took some profits. Nice tofu. So they're still climbing. We have 60-50, 60-60 liquidity to the upside. And nothing. Same old crap we've been doing every single day. Just grind up, grind up, grind up. because there's no volume. You can't. That's why they say don't short a dull market. That's because volume usually induces selling. Usually, not always. And if you don't have volume, it's hard to really look for an actionable short. So you just grind up. We have 60-50 liquidity, which is the first target on Bookmap. After that, it's going to be the last week's high area, or after late week high, which is about what? 60-70. Still going. 60-50 up to 60-60. Has Hero changed at all? Let's take a look. Right now we have 710 million in calls and 81 million in puts. So it's obviously still aggressively situated into the put area. I'm sorry, call area. Where I am, we have humidity as well. No fun to be outside. Yeah. So if you noticed, I changed up a little bit in the channels of the stream. It's to kind of accommodate the fact that there's a lot less chatter in the stream. So I'm going to be putting a lot more emphasis on, instead of typing and conversating, into putting information in the signals channel, which is why we're here, right? To look for actionable positions, so you don't have to go searching through the chat. I cleaned up a lot of the channels that are no longer used as well. I got rid of the Traders Help Desk, which no one used. I got rid of the helpline for prop firms, which no one used, and the round table, just to make it a little more clean. Still coming up here, nothing but green. Nothing but green. No actionable shorts, so either remain long or do nothing. Straight up. There is volume on this 5-minute candle, but they're still just blasting it. All those shorts are covering here. If I had to guess, VIX is plummeting. And it is. From 2190 to 20 and falling. 60-50 on ES. My car AC can't even cool out here in Miami. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I like reading Trader J's roundtable. Yeah, he deleted them all on Friday for some reason. I don't know why. Or not Friday, but someday last week he deleted them all. Did he leave? No, he's still here. I don't know. He just deleted all his analysis. 60-53. Still going. Straight up. Same thing. Let's go to 60-60 now. Still going. Easy peasy. $60.54 and climbing. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. What else we have here? Take a look at oil. Oil 73. Look at the pivot from 72 from Friday. That'll be a nice little long entry if we can hold it. Obviously, we had a little VPA bounce right there. We had volume come in. We had a bottom wick on oil right here. Volume with bottom wick should be your number one analysis. Volume with bottom wick or a volume with top wick. Everything else is secondary. Can they place levels on the order book to deceive and suddenly remove? Not legally, but they do it. They do it. Then again, so is insider trading, but we know how that goes. Flussy. I don't remember U.S. bombs being dropped in a crazy nuclear war pushing country less than 48 hours ago. All-time highs. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. The amount of patience I've built the last 4 months from your example has made a huge difference. Man, I can't stress that enough, man. It makes me laugh because that's one of the main things I talk about. Is that I think, in my opinion, nothing I teach, nothing I do is groundbreaking. Nothing is considered, it's going to blow your hair back in terms of analysis. But the one thing I do very well is patience. I'm a very patient man. And, you know, I think it's hard to trade, especially markets like this, without being patient. So I laugh when I see people trade 78 times a day because all you're doing is shooting yourself in the foot. Is the color of the volume important? No, it's not. It does not matter at all. It doesn't matter if it's red or green. All that matters is the quantity. Is the QTY, baby. Still going 60-60 liquidity up top. It's taken me a lot of mistakes to learn that from you. Hey, sometimes all rules are written in blood, man. It's got to happen. You've got to be able to solidify that in your brain, and the only way to do that is to make mistake after mistake after mistake, and finally realize that there's no other option. Is that there is no light at the end of the tunnel until you turn around, walk back, and start figuring out a better path. This is the way it is. It's just the way it is. That hit me different there. 100%, man. I mean, follow the probabilities. Probability says most, if not all, people are not profitable in trading. So why would you sit there and continue to do what everyone else is doing when it doesn't work? It doesn't work. So you have to do what's high probability, which is less trading at high confidence areas. Tilt the odds in your favor. Tilt the odds in your favor. It's not 2021 anymore where we could just buy calls and, sip on mimosas and kick back and relax. I've never even had it. I don't even drink mimosas. I don't even know why I use that. But a few weeks ago, you said you need to make a decision to be profitable. 100%. Everything you do in your life is a decision made, whether it be losing weight, fitness, being a better father, mother, trading. Just make the decision to do it and hold yourself accountable, which requires rules, structure. By the way, top wick. Let's go. 15-minute here. We have a little top wick here. Not quite to 60-60 yet, but obviously a very, very big move. Not quite ready to short yet myself. We do have some high volume here, but I need a top wick to close to play it. When we start slinging out new content, I'm going to start recording this week. So most likely it'll be posted this weekend or next week. My goal is to do one YouTube at least every other week, and a weekly podcast again. Maybe some blog posts, all that stuff. Not to mention it's hot as blazes out, so I have no interest in being out in 100-degree weather. 5-minute RSI is oversold and a bit negative. 5-minute RSI is oversold or overbought? I assume you meant overbought. 60-50. Still going up here. The 240-minute chart here, you see the obvious channel. You see the obvious channel. Everyone else sees it too. The main thing here is that we need a top wick with volume. Look at the volume that hit on Friday. The volume on Friday tells us that we hit some sort of supply, which leads me to believe that we are in a temporary light distribution mode. Not strong enough for me to start slapping the table and say it's short everything on the long-term scale. But the fact that we are putting in some high volume, it's the highest volume we had since June 5th. It's the first high volume sell climax since May 30th. But we need confirmation. We have light volume, not outlier, just higher into this area. So up in this area, 50-50, 50-60, 50-70, we could foresee another little top wick here, in which case that's when I'll look to short if we get it. Until then, you can only play longs. Keep yourself safe. Remember the 3 criteria. Top wick, volume, lower low to short. $100 in Philly today. Just got off a flat roof I inspected. Whew. It's crazy, man. Oh, he's here already. Interesting. Why wouldn't he text me? Oh, that's a nice excavator or skid steer. Up over 100 all week in Virginia this week. 200% on SPY, done for the day. Nice side gig. I'm in a short. I'm in overbought. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Interesting. Hey, where's Dan at? I just saw a tweet that he would love. Thoughts on HIM's chart whenever you're free. All right, HIM. Let's take a look. Him and her health, really. I thought it was just a guy thing. I'm a UPS driver in Charleston. 94 degrees, feels like 105 with the humidity. Whew. That's pretty much where I am, too. Man, getting roasted. Getting roasted. Man, they've already given out half the move there from back in April. I don't follow this chart, but that's a triple top off supply. At least 50% down to 46. But right now, look at the volume. The volume, once again, tells the tale. The volume put in the high. Volume with a top wick, that's the high. That's the most important thing, take away from that chart. Trust the high volume. Not, I guess, more than high volume. Trust the outlier volume. The outlier volume will lead you to the promised land. Look at that daily chart engulfing. Yeah, Novo terminates collaboration with HIMS. Haven't attempted to trade in over a month, but I learned how to make a mean omelet. There you go. What's your reasoning by not taking a trade over a month? Just not seeing what you want? I think it's fantastic. I think that discipline is extraordinary. Extraordinary. Am I still dollar cost averaging TLT? I haven't taken an additional one yet. I posted them all. Everything I've taken, I've posted in the long-term investments channel. But I will be continue to dollar cost averaging the TLT, 100%. What's the lower low you're talking about on the third rule? What time frame are you looking at? Whatever time frame you want to take a trade on. So if you're looking at a swing trade, you want to take at least a 240-minute analysis, if not higher. But a lower low. All right. Let me find a good, clear example to kind of show you what I'm talking about. Something like this. Well, I need volume. That's not a high confidence thing there. Did we have a high volume move? No, because we're in a chop zone. All right, let's look for a trend change, and I'll tell you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so in the longer time frame here, on the daily chart, which we were here from January 25 until mid-February, we had, once again, high volume to indicate that we hit the top here. High volume spikes that are outlier relative to the counter range. And then we put in a lower low. When we start putting in a lower low, which is here, low of a prior sweep, and the type of candle that you go lower on does matter in terms of confidence. Because if you have an aggressive sweep, which big move down like here, bottom wick back up, that shows that there's a lot of liquidity sitting at this area. And liquidity is activity. If the market can take out such a big pivot in liquidity, most likely you have momentum. You want to be on the side of momentum. We drop back over, we bounce again, right on this area. Surprise, surprise. That's, a monkey could plot these type of levels where there's prior lows. We bounce right off of it. Once we take out that low, you can either add to a position or get in short if you're not already. The process is you have to close below a prior big pivot. The bigger the pivot, the better. These are big pivots. So if you're looking for a short, the three criteria to summarize: top wick with volume, lower low. And then the fourth caveat to it, which it's just a caveat, confidence booster would be at a location, strong location. Oh yeah, I had to switch my screen back. I got a lot going on. Volume analysis. Looks like divergence is showing up on the 5-minute RSI. Nice. Still going. No shorts yet because we don't have anything that closes. Look on the 5-minute on the S&P. Right now, we have no lower low close. See this one? It went lower, but it didn't close below a prior low. We didn't have outlier volume. We had slightly higher volume, and now we're going back up. So there's no actionable short. In my opinion, it'll come in this area. In this block, we'll have a top wick. We'll have a shortable top wick, in my opinion, in this little yellow block, which is about a 4 to 5 point block on the S&P. Why? We have top wick here. We have Friday. We have prior Wednesdays, and then of course we have the trend line, which is only more of an indication of pattern, and then we have liquidity at 60-60. So in my opinion, somewhere in this block is where there'll be an actionable short. Until then, I would be very cautious shorting and only play longs. I need to mute 1 second. I'll be right back in a couple of minutes. We have returned. Had to step away for a second. All right. So look at that top wick right here. Still not to 60-60 yet. Just chilling. Have not attempted any trades after a romantic relationship turned sour. Since then, disconnected. Hey, that's a good idea, man. That's a good idea. Obviously, you're in a little bit of emotional toil with that. So it's smart to take a break. Fun stuff to trade. Fun stuff to trade. There's NASDAQ CL. STL came back down still, retesting. I like the 72.28 target for a possible scalp. Anything below that, 71.31 would be great, obviously. But that's obvious stuff, you know. Longer time frame, I need some volume. Now we have volume on this candle slightly higher. Any breach below here, look at the volume node though. We have volume profile node. We have bottom ticks in the 71.34. So if we can get a flush down with a bottom wick, that's a beautiful long up to 77.40. But oil right now is doing the same exact thing as the S&P as NASDAQ. They're countering the market sentiment, which is common. Everyone wanted to long oil and short the S&P. And it's doing the exact opposite of people are late to the trade. Crowded trades equal reversal trades. Absorb higher and higher, it seems. Same exact setup as every day last week. Yep. Just waiting for the afternoon late morning short. 100%, man. You're 100% right. I want 22.075 on NASDAQ. Beautiful. Beautiful. The only thing I can really teach right now is freaking patience, because this market for 5-6 weeks is awful. Absolutely awful. Which makes for a boring stream, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Right now my trading is very boring. I find my analysis is pretty good, but I get in too early. Okay. Delayed gratification. When you place your hand on the mouse and you're looking to take a trade, delay it. Whatever time frame you're on. Daily trade, delay it a day. 5-minute trade, delay it 5 minutes. Delay the trade or ask yourself the question, is there something I'm missing? Just do a double check. Systems configuration check. What's going on here? There's a popular YouTube short that somebody posted many, many months ago, years ago, that I reference all the time, and it's if you want to make one change, one single quick change that'll instantly change your profitability. If this one thing alone, it's to set your entries where you normally set your stop losses. So wherever you think you want to short, for example, let's say you want to just, all right, I need to short 60.53. Instead, go ahead and set your entry limit up here where you would normally place your stop loss. You're going to miss some trades, yeah. You're going to miss more trades than you are now, but you're going to take overall less trades because of that. But you're going to take much more high quality trades, and you're going to realize that your profits are going to your R&R is going to go way up because you're going to take much more high quality trades, and then you're going to get in on the liquidity sweep, not before liquidity sweep, which is what we talked about earlier. The liquidity sweep is a gotcha. You're going to get in after the gotcha or during the gotcha, not before. The Bible is full of scripture on patience. The Bible is full of thousands and thousands of golden nuggets that apply to life and every decision you make. It's fantastic. Also humility, which is something that's lost on 90% of traders. A little bit of red. Limit orders. Yeah, and yeah, it's definitely, I would never ever use market orders. Nice little red candle here on the sweep. 15-minute top wick. What are we going to do? One sec. I have to mute again. Didn't miss nothing, though. Alrighty. So we do have a small little top wick here. If we can close lower, I'll attempt a downside position. Right here. I'm short ES 6046. Right now, the high is about 12 points higher, so that would be a much better entry. Let's see if it holds. Beautiful. I appreciate I've been thinking about that. I should set my own orders 10 points higher or lower than our orders are usually around here. Every time you want to put on a trade, just take a break and... yeah, tell me about it. Thinking probabilities, man. Thinking probabilities and your trading will change. Do I know Joe Dirt? Heck yeah, man. All right. We have 60-45, 60-40. CVD is still green 65-64. We have a first 15-minute closed top wick with a red under the 60-50. So this will be the target. 60-50 will be the target to take a position down, and we'll target first the support retest, which is 60-36. If that can get a closure, we'll play the low of the day. But that's a big if. I'm just looking at targets here. Have a plan. So 60-38 will be our first target. Outside of that, we'll play to 60-10. But that's a big old if. We'll have stops on way before that actually happens. I don't really see. I'm looking through news. I don't see anything else here. We do have J-Powell speaking this week, twice. But it's just a testimony, and most likely it'll lead to nothing. We have no other news today. We had Fed Goolsby at 1310, and that is it. Tomorrow we have Consumer Confidence Fed Chair at 10 o'clock, Powell at 10 o'clock. A couple of odds and ends, small potatoes, but that's it. Do I recommend initial stop loss in ES? 5 points, 10 points? I don't know. That really depends on your thesis. Because if you're trading on the 240-minute or even the 60-minute, you have to have a bigger stop than 5-10. If you're scalping on the 5-minute, then yeah, 5 or 10 points is about where I would set my stop. 5 to 7 is usually where my initial stop is, and then we'll go from there. CNN reports that Iranian source saying the war could drag on for 2 years. The UK government has issued a warning for British citizens in Qatar to shelter in place until further notice. Yep. Yeah, buddy. Not going to be good. Not going to be good. Look at that liquidity just came on 60-60. So we still can't get a close on the 15-minute, right? So we don't have a trend change. See this? This is your target to look for a trend change. A close under 60.49 on the 15-minute. So until you get that, there is no trend change. There is no actionable trend change. And we just put on a phenomenal amount of liquidity on Bookmap at 60.63. So yeah, no shorts until we get it. Right here. Need the close, baby. Need the close. What would a long trigger look like? If they hammer this candle, you could scalp long to 60.57, and then after that it's 60. Or you're going to 60.70. Plus we have liquidity at 60.63. I saw where the last Iranian princess lives in Greenwich, Connecticut. You're welcome, Pocket Protector. $60.49. What's my weekly thesis? My weekly thesis this week is not much change from the prior weeks, except I'm going to look for a little bit more top wick pressure than in weeks past. Simply because of OPEX, they're going to try to take some of that off the books. So I wouldn't say I'm bearish, but I'm not quite as bullish as in weeks past. Any change in hero? Let's take a look. Hero indicator. Remember, I try to think in probabilities, and the likelihood of me calling a top and shorting a bullish market like this is very low. Holy crap, we have a massive amount of puts hitting the books. We now have 840 million in puts and 500 million in calls. So they are starting to stack on the puts, which I wouldn't get too excited because that's normal. When they start to come into a supply, which we are now, that happens. Even if we still go up to 60-60, we're still entering some sort of supply. You're going to have the short positions and the puts come on the books. Now it's starting to become skewed quite a bit, so that's why I was saying somewhere up in this area, I think most likely we are going to have a short opportunity. So the probabilities are skewed in my favor when I wait for the VPA signals. He's got a nice unit, man. It's a big old Kubota. Big unit. Okay. Vol add and new are all heading down. Looks like this is Volk DQ holding this up. Nice. NASDAQ up, yep. Yeah, that's okay. And like I said, man, just be patient. The whole name of the game, what's been happening for 6 weeks? Grind up, grind up, grind up, afternoon red, late morning red. It's just in some days we don't even get red. It just keeps on going. So that's the nature of the beast. So you don't really want to necessarily looking for shorts until you're at a location that's commensurate with a short, and you get the volume and top wick and price action that's you want with a short. Until then, you have to look for the either higher the high or just slower grind or whatever. Just save yourself a lot of trouble, a lot of stress, and just wait. Going green again. I need to smoke some ribs. It's meat smoking time, baby. 6052. What's up, Gaz? I see you typing. Still going, baby. Still going. Top step X. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Process over profits. Process over profits. Kim Jong-un is only 41 years old. Nice. Dude's my age and he's running a country. What am I doing with my life? He looks like younger than 41. Yeah. Ay caramba. All right, so we are obviously in a very tight little battle here, 60-48. Was that sweep to the upside to go lower? It's certainly possible, but what's the 3 criteria? Top wick, volume, lower low. And we don't have any of that. We do, well, we have some of that. We have a 15 and 5 minute top wick with a slightly higher volume. So it's hard for me to really gauge that as a high volume influx, although it is a higher, so technically it does trigger that rule. But now we need lower low, which was 60-48. This orange line, I put on that line. We need a lower low, which now technically would be this because buyers supported 60-46. So if buyers are supporting 60-46, then we have activity here. Now we're only talking about 2 points, so whatever. But let's just call it this range. You know what? Let's delete that just to S's and G's. Right here. And the whole thing here is like, don't get wrapped around the axle on individual little levels. There are ranges, and it's all conceptual. It's all conceptual here. So my concept is that we need to close below all this little base here, which is about 60-49, 60-48, for the sellers to really engage down into 60-36, and then maybe even lower. Now you could play the 50% rule, which is, what, 60-35, which also lines up to the SR flip. But just have a thesis. You know, just have a thesis and stick to it. Even if the thesis is wrong, having a thesis is better than no thesis. It's like my football coach used to say, you can be wrong, but if you're going to be wrong 100%. Don't be wrong and half butt it and only give 50% effort. Be wrong 100%. Give it your all. All right, so now we finally have a little red. We just closed the 15-minute, starting up again. We have a little red coming off here. NASDAQ is taking out the 1020 high. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Interesting. Still going right here. Beautiful. Beautiful. This large buyer defending the 60-45, 60-50 area. If there's anything I learned, play with the players. Play with the players. Yeah, so we now have 940 million in puts, and the calls have dropped from 1.1 billion to 600 million. So they've sold about 500 million worth of calls, and now they've added not almost a billion inputs. So the options chain is now grossly skewed towards put positions. So we have an actionable downside move here with the puts. We have a top wick. We have red top wicks. We have a lower move, but we're lacking a lot of volume here. Now, what does that tell me? We have a light actionable short, not a high confidence short. There's a whole range of positions you can think about here. We have all the indications and markers of a possible reduction in price based on what we're seeing here on liquidity. We just don't have a high confidence move, so you can't size up here. There's nothing wrong with trying to take a short here down to 60.36, but there's nothing to really support the fact that we're going to blow down, except for the puts. The puts is the only thing, but that's not enough. That's not enough. Because what we know about low volume environments is that one volume influx and you're moved 15 points anyway. My thesis was short SPY from 596.8. It was heavy support last week. Thought it might be an SR flip. Yeah. There we go. A little bit more red. If they can break this candle here, you'll probably get another 10 points down. So we got to break this candle here. It's very slow, so we're not talking about anything crazy. But they're still buying a lot of puts, and we need to break this level right here to come on down. And you'll probably get another, let's call it 8 points, and then 10 points if we're lucky. Now this is where the day comes along, where everyone who tried to shorting all morning long, they start saying, screw it, I'm just going to long, whatever. And then they long, and now we drop it. And then keyboards get broken. Monitors get tossed. A little bit more red, 60.45. $60.44. They just filled that liquidity on Bookmap. Now we're coming down a little bit more. You don't know me. I do know you because I am you. I am a retail jabroni. I've lived it, man. I've lived it. Have you ever seen $15 gas before? You're about to. Interesting. There we go. 60.43 acceptance. Now we're going to go for 38. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. The point of extremely bearish scenarios that lead to bullish outcomes. Yeah, I know. Everyone's saying this. Oh, that's weird. Anyway. Let's see. Sellers are buying in on the footprint. Yep, and we have puts. Do you wait for the 15-minute candle to close to enter the put? I'm not entering. I just don't like going against the trend. Well, if the signs are there, then you're not going against the trend because maybe you're in a trend change. So, and the answer to that question is sometimes I do wait, sometimes I don't. It depends on the volume. It depends on the indications. If the indications are screaming, it's time to take the trade, then I don't care about necessarily the close. I'm going to go ahead and front run because the earlier you get in, the more profit you're going to have. But the key there is that you have to indicate what's going on with volume. Volume, try to think of volume as confidence indication. Volume tells you confidence. The higher the volume, the more participation, and thus the higher the confidence you should be on taking a trade. So the more volume you see, the better, the earlier you can get in. If you want to backtest something, go to a longer time frame, like a 4-hour chart, and go look what happens anytime we have an outlier volume change. Go look at the chart. Anytime we have volume that grossly exceeds anything else in that area, look what happens to the price action. 9.9 times out of 10, it's a reversal. So you've got to trust those areas. Still coming off here. That was a retest. See the retest? Look, 1 minute chart. We'll break it down. Finally took it out. This green candle hammered back up. Retest this zone. And now we're coming along here. So it's acceptance after acceptance in this area. Very slow price action, of course. Can y'all hear that machine outside the window? It's crazy. Hey, who talked to me about peacock feathers? One of y'all jabronis messaged me about peacock feathers. Apparently you can use them in fishing. Is that code or something? No. I'll give you something. Yeah. Now you can use the peacock feathers to tie fly fishing bait. All right, 60.43. We've already absorbed the liquidity at 60.42. Or I'm sorry, 60.40. What is that? 60.44. So now you're going to gun for what? The support resistance retest. Here's your target. Right here. That's your first target. You take that out, you move your stop down. Right here. There's your support resistance free flip. And once you test that and break it, that's when you start rolling your stop deep in a profit. Department of Homeland Security has issued a national terrorism advisory for the United States. The ongoing Iran conflict is causing a heightened threat environment to the United States. And how did they get here? You might ask yourselves. What's that water droplet sound? That's the sound of money, homie. The sound of money. On Bookmap, I noticed price will take liquidity, pull back, and then continue if they don't re-add the liquidity. I like it. They want Iran to do something so bad. Yeah. That's like getting in someone's face and be like, do something. Do something. Does Iran want the smoke? Still coming down. There's that prior low broken. We're looking for our first target. Went in short, have my stops, 2 sticks up. Stopped out immediately, not using for trading without double confirmation. Beautiful. So we're walking through this whole process here of looking for a short, take out the lower low, 3 criteria are met, and now we're looking for the first target of 60.38. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you we're going to go through 60.38. I have no idea. I don't have an magic 8 ball. But I can tell you this. If they do absorb 60.38 and close below it, we can start entering down into 60.29 and, of course, the imbalance to the 60.10 low of the day. If you're someone who likes to pull 50% retracements, we've got 60.34 to target. Right there. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's all about gauging probabilities, baby. Gauging probabilities. Hero indicator shows 1.2 billion in puts purchased, 300 million in calls. They have sold 700 million in calls, and they have purchased 1.2 billion in puts. The deltas on the notional are severely red, which means short biased on the options. Iranians who live close to Fordow report that troops are on the ground. Interesting. 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 All right, still coming off here, 60.40. Now we're looking for 60.38 target. 60.38, coming on down, baby. If I have to write down the points which confirm a trend change, what are those points to blindly follow? Nothing you blindly follow. Nothing you blindly follow. I'll go ahead and spoil that for you. Rule number 1, you need it if you're looking for a short, so look for a wick. And if you're looking to go short, you need a top wick. If you're looking for a bounce, you need a bottom wick. Look for a wick. Look for volume. Look for a lower close or a higher close for buying. So those are the 3 things. The 4th one is kind of like A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, that little thing. The 4th one is location. You need location. But we're laying all this out in real time here of how price action breaks down, how it absorbs and goes. If there's something you want to blindly follow, you should do it automated. Yeah, definitely. Take your decision making out of it. You even had a little retest in there too. Oh, man. Target achieved. Bouncing. I know the price action is slow and boring, but offers great insight. Yeah, so that's 100% right. I mean, yeah, we're not talking about huge points here. This is only what? An overall 16, 17 point move down. We're not talking about a lot. But you can still break down concepts to think about positionings. How much of what's happening overseas do you think is true? Oh, man. I spent my entire life in the military. Most of which was spent in the upper echelons of the classified environment. And I will tell you that the general public has no freaking idea what's going on anywhere when it comes to global military operations, which unfortunately leads to skewed or altered political bias. And I hate it because it's all nonsense. I'll say that. Southern Middle Tennessee. Interesting. In other words, for the U.S. to take the action it took Saturday night, there's a good reason. I don't know. That's speculation for me, so I don't know. I would hope so. Basing on the things that I've personally seen and personally been involved in and personally dropped bombs on, the evidence was overwhelming. It's like I was 100% on board with everything I ever did because it's like, holy crap, these people are absolute animals. I'll say that. In this particular instance, I don't know. I wasn't involved in it, so it would be speculation. I've seen some stuff that I think would turn even the biggest humanitarian into a bomb dropping maniac. My military team has been featured in Iranian state news propaganda. It was absolute BS. If you're skeptical about Western media, you should completely give up on Middle Eastern media. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. You may have not been involved, but if a cat normally meows, you're not expecting it to bark. Correct, yeah. Coming up into 60-50, so they bounced off our target. The SR flip right there, which is another, the SR flip is another topic to discuss altogether right here. This is a support resistance flip, which is one of my favorite setups right here. Where did you go most of the time when you're in the military? I don't know if I should say. I've spent a lot of time everywhere, but a lot of time in Africa, a lot of time in the Middle East. Bull case here is that it turns and holds into a bull flag. Yep. Powell's bias against Trump needs to be looked at. Interesting. We're in Africa. I'm from Nigeria. All along the East Coast. Up and down the East Coast. We saw some bad dudes out there. I can't say too much. But yeah. If you said anything about this, but do you have back problems after flying? My brother-in-law flies F-35s. He says his back messed up from the G-force. Yes and no. Granted, I wasn't the F-30. I wasn't in any fighters. I've done some hours in fighters, but not because that was my platform. So I do have some back issues, but not from flying fighters. But that is 100% a thing. Knees, shoulders, and back is a huge problem, and ankles for people who fly fighters. All right, so once you take out the 6048, again, we'll play long up until 6063. So we had our recapture liquidity test, which is a SR flip, which is a beautiful, beautiful target. Bounce back off of it. Once we retake the 6048, we'll delete this target altogether, and now we'll look for 6063. Is that why the emphasis on lifting and building strong joints? Yeah, so you've got to be very much in shape to fly fighters. That's why all those dudes are very much smoked, because you've got to be. He says he'd do it again if ever asked. So, 100%. If you're young and you don't have a career choice, I 100% recommend military aviation. The best job in the world. It's like being a kid for your entire career. It's amazing. My spine is yellow from helos. Yeah. Yeah. Still going. 6051. Anyone else have permanent shin splits from military service? Anyone suffer from mesothelioma? 60-50, right here. Looks like they want a more grab and go liquidity. Yep, they are. Still doing what we've always done. $60.49. What's NASDAQ looking like? NASDAQ's got 22.0. It grew me up real quick. 2000, 2006. Definitely. Yeah, that'll put some hair on your back, man. Glad I didn't short heavy as there's no volume. Rules kept me out of a trade to avoid pain. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, even still, obviously a trailing stop should have stopped all that out. Right into the target. We're right back to 60.50. All right, 60.51. We're coming into the afternoon, late morning, early afternoon time, so that's when my trading confidence starts to wane, and we take a break from at least until the afternoon power hour session. Back and forth. I don't know why I'm nervous using this TPD demo account more than my personal. It doesn't make sense. just relax, man. Just relax. Prop firms can be a life changer for most people if they treat it right. So just relax. You're given an opportunity to live in a first world country. Press a bunch of buttons on the screen and make what most people make in a month. Report that Iran's supposed to attack in coming hours. Maybe it'd be worth putting on some protection put, maybe a PDS. There's a perfect opportunity for a PDS, honestly. This environment, it's a great opportunity for it. Boring stuff. I guess it's the unknown of how it all works. Well, utilize the server, man. That's why we're here. Utilize the server. If you have questions or concerns, then definitely throw it up in the channel. We have a very helpful community for the most part. Good morning. This is great. How often you are on YouTube? I am now on YouTube Monday and Wednesdays. It used to be Fridays, but I'm taking Fridays off for the summer. I'm going to use that as my content, like finalization day. Then back in sometimes late July, early August, I'll come back to Friday streams. But thanks. Appreciate you being here. Life begins when fear ends. I like it. That's so true. Whatever happened to Gary Busey? That dude's nuts. June 23rd, 24th, 60-10 calendar call spread. Nice. Beautiful, for the most part. Just had to reset my mindset. Grateful for the opportunity to even have the ability to get a prop account and have a personal account. 100% Kennedy. Don't be scared to cry. I've done it. Oh, man. 100%. 100%. How would you structure your PDS in theory? Somewhere probably anywhere between 2 to 3 weeks out and roughly 30 to 50 point spread. I'd have to get into it, to get into the deltas and look at where the overall positioning is. I would not have the short leg closer than 5,900. I would have it beyond 5,900 because that's where we'll bounce if we fall for SPX. Back to the grind, baby. Back to the grind. While I was working, I'm building out my custom pantry. And while I was working on some shelves this weekend, I was listening to a survivalist podcast about how to survive the first year of society breakdown. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Is Hero still put heavy? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Hero right now is refresh. Stand by. We have gone from 200 million in calls back up to 830 million in calls. So they bought back 600 million, and we're sitting at 900 million in puts. So it's about equivalent right now on Delta Notional for calls and puts. However, it doesn't. I would be skeptical to look from shorts based on what I'm seeing here because they're buying back a lot of calls. Can you trade multiple accounts with a trade copier on TPT? Yes, you can. 5 of them. Although I don't do it yet. I want to. I'm tempted to sign up for 4 more accounts, pass them, and have 5, and start slinging some cash. But historically, I don't do well with multiple accounts. It's just there's a brain block when I start trading multiple accounts. Admittedly, one of those days I'll get over it. I start thinking about all the money I can make. 5 is where it's at, especially with TPT. I keep 3 conservative at 600 base hits a day. Love it. Hey, where you been, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, man. You been her? Love it. You left me on unread with DMs message weeks ago. Dude, you know how many people I had to leave on red? Love it. I am not people. You're definitely not people. I'm just trying to get on your level, homie. What trading platform on TP do you recommend, or does it really matter? Whatever you're comfortable with, honestly. You know, it's hard for me to recommend Trade-Evade. Trade-Evade works. It's fine. But, man, it's one of those things, dude. I just don't like it. I wish I could put everything on either. I love Quantower. So Quantower, I didn't really care for NinjaTrader. It's a little clunky, although a lot of people love NinjaTrader. I'm not going to say anything negative about it. I just don't care for it. And then, of course, you know, IBKR for personal account. I use NinT with Replicanto. Nice. Nice. How much does TPT charge for commissions for contracts? If I'm being honest with you, I have no idea. I'll have to look. I don't pay attention to contract. I don't even pay attention to commissions on my personal account. It's just cost of doing business. I don't care about it. It means nothing to me. I'm also not trading 1,000 lots, so, you know, whatever. It's like $12 per trade. Which VPA do you have on your 15-minute? This is the KV4 Coins, a firm. A firm. Do I use Trade-Evade and TradingView? I do not. I do not link my charts to TradingView. I don't like the security aspect of it. I never like linking my login information with that. The United States has banned WhatsApp, which is a fantastic idea. We're coming up on 10:30, which will be the end of the stream. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I wonder if I could be in a Palmetto State Armory affiliate. I would totally do it. Hero right now is showing call buying and put buying, and the notionals are about matched. 700 million in calls. Whoa, never mind. They spike back up to 1.1 billion in puts, so it's back to put buying. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's back and forth. Every time I hit refresh, they add on a couple hundred milli. So here. That would make you my new best friend. I wonder if they offer that. I would totally do that if I can get some discounts on Palmetto. Holy crap, they do. Let's see. Well, what benefit does it have to you all? Is the question. Interesting. Rebates, yeah. Do I have a link for Hero? Not a link. You talking about like an affiliate link or like just to see it? There's no way for me to show it to you, unfortunately, unless I show it on stream, which I can do that. At least temporarily. Got any more discounts in that gabagoo? Can I look at Bookmap? Yeah, let's take a look real quick. Screen, change stream. Let's go to the old map. Bookmap. Right there. Here's what we're seeing on Bookmap right here. YouTube's got it on there as well. We have 60-62, which is the main liquid. We got 35 and 30 to the downside. So right now the skew is definitely to 63. We have a lot of cross currents here. From another server, I'm hungry for Viet food now. I love it. Delicious. And healthy. Thermal binocular reconditioned, $3,000. Love it. Anyway, let's take a look. Yeah, so here's Hero. See if I can show you. Un momento, por favor. I got you. Screen capture. Source change. Come on down. Where am I at? Hero. Right there. Where does it go? Where did it just go? There we go. All right. So that's the hero. Here's a hero indicator right here. You can see it. I'll hit refresh to show you. They are showing another massive amount of puts. So what we're seeing here, the blue line is puts, the green line is calls. Right here. So you're seeing an early morning green spike in delta notional, positive delta notional, which means call buying. The blue all the way down is put buying. So the more negative, the more purchased of the puts. So now we have 1.37 billion of put purchase, which is extremely negative. It's almost to the point where you can almost call a top here. Calls are not being sold though. We have a little come off from 800 million. But if this was tanking alongside, so call selling, put buying, I would really go heavy on some shorts. But until then, it's only still low confidence here because we don't have volume and it's in the middle of the trading session. Right here. Fantastic resource if you like monitoring options data is the hero indicator, along with the founder's notes, everything else here too. How's your mother? Yeah. So if you're looking for this, change stream, Mozilla Firefox. Where'd it go? Oh, dang it. Stupid. If I knew how to do stuff. Yeah, there it is. Right here. So you see it. Let's go full. No, I don't want that. But yeah, here it is. I put it on Bookmap right there on Discord. We have call buying or call selling, put buying right now. Boom. Still coming down. Our target is still 60.42. That's a support resistance flip. What's a support resistance flip? Right here. Prior resistance, new support. That's an extremely strong area of activity. When the market is able to flip a prior resistance into new support or a prior support, new resistance, it's a strong sign of activity. Yeah, buddy. Where's that dude at? All right. Any final questions, thoughts, comments? They ain't ready for what we got. Show me what you got. Still defending the support area. No surprise there. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I am hungry. I need some lunch. Finally, my shorts playing out. I didn't cut down. That's all right. Slow day, but effective day. These deep dives of Dave's are awesome. Yeah, I like it too, Vampire. I like it. Oh, by the way, to kind of piggyback on what Vampire said. So the signals channel is going to be more used. I'm going to start putting all my analysis posts in there so they don't get lost in the chat. I don't know if I said this already, but yeah, my intent is to have a one-stop shop for y'all to just kind of look in there when it gets lost up in all the nonsense and the back and forth. So, yeah, and we'll play those accordingly. Trade less, analyze more. It'll be good stuff. With a lower there, do you still think low of the day's in play? I don't know. I don't know, Brandon Lee. All I know is that when we absorb and break below this green box, the probability of low of the day becomes a lot higher. So that's the only thing I could say. I don't want to get into the habit of gunning for stuff like this because you're going to start, hopium and stuff. I just try to play probabilities. Variable change. The probability of this increases when we absorb this because that tells me that the shorts, the sellers, have enough momentum to start taking out the supply, the buyer supply, the demand of the market. The buyer supply, what the crap is that? Demand of the market. And once we wipe this out, 60.38, the probability of low of the day comes pretty high. You're welcome, Cal. Trade more, analyze less. No. Trade less, analyze more. Love it. I believed it. You could say buyer supply, and I'd take your word for it. Yeah. Same thing. Y'all know what I was putting up. Y'all were picking up what I was putting down. I made a new rule. When I snooze my alarm, I can't trade. It set my day into being disciplined. Didn't trade today. Thanks, better. That's better than blowing. I don't know what that means. Become a better loser is the only way to win. Definitely a better loser. Plus, there's a lot other to it too. Not, I don't want to get into a Dr. Phil sesh, but if you start your day off with wins, make your bed, take a shower, brush your teeth, go for a jog. You start your day off with small disciplined wins. It's going to bleed into your trading. Promise you. So, all right, y'all. I'm going to call that a day. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for if you're here for the first time. Thanks for hanging out. Come back on Wednesday morning. We'll be back bright and early to start off another day. So 60-30. Once this clears, low of the day is highly in play. If not, then I would look for 60-65. So, but this little green box right here is key. Other than that, I will see y'all bright and early tomorrow morning. I'm out. See you.